And there we are.
Hello.
Greetings. Greetings from our home to yours. So we are here in Fort Lauderdale. and we're going to hang tight for just a couple minutes as we get some viewers in here. I see there's like 5 of you.
Wow.
Excuse me. Go ahead and use the chat window. Let us know you're there.
Oops, sorry.
Now we got to turn ourselves down. Juan Carlos is going to be manning the phone. Just a little bit of housekeeping just to let you know we are still not fully monetized yet with YouTube. Even though we reached all the thresholds back in December, we still can't live stream through YouTube directly, so we're using a third-party software. So there's always like a little bit of a delay and a little glitch with us trying to get that set up each time we go live. But here we are. We're having a little pajama party, as you can see. These little outfits are compliments of Juan Carlos's sister. She hooked us up, and she thought we would be really cute since we're married, wearing matchy outfits.
And we are.
So what do you think? Even socks, look. so cheesy. So we're sitting here at home, and earlier today we were doing some stuff here at the house, and we thought it would be nice to kind of do a little chat with all of you because it's been a while since we've done a live chat. And tomorrow, it'll be 3 weeks ago
Since we got married.
since we did it. We've been married for 3 weeks. And we've had a lot of time to reflect over the last 3 weeks about our experience planning the wedding. It was sort of a whirlwind experience because we only had a couple months to do it. So we want to share with you a little bit about what that experience was like for us planning it, why we selected Savannah, Georgia, talk about what that was all about, what our venue was like, and then, of course, how amazing it was to celebrate our wedding with our family and our close friends. So that was amazing. So thank you. Somebody said congratulations.
Ice Knights 81 and also Milo and David Braga
Cool.
and Shannon.
Yep. Oh, and there's my sister. Yay!
So yeah, thank you all.
So welcome to the chat. So we know there's a few of you here. So as we said, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about what it was like planning our wedding. And so I guess we could start really, we did not fully decide until November. And then really it was December on a trip up to Savannah that we made final decisions on what and where and exactly.
Yeah.
So just to let you all know, we chose to get married in Savannah, Georgia. A big reason for that is that I have family that lives there, including my sister who's watching. Hey, shout out to Shannon, everybody. And she lives there. My other sister lives there. My mother lives there. And my father lives on the outskirts. And I have a niece and a nephew that live locally, several nieces, nephews. And so when Juan Carlos one of his trips, when he first met my family, that was up in Georgia. Back in 2015, and he fell in love with Savannah. I've always loved Savannah, even though I've personally never lived there full time. So the reality was when it came time and when we decided we wanted to get married, I asked Juan Carlos, and what did you say? Where do we want to get married?
I want to get married in Savannah, Georgia, and I want to get married in Lafayette Square, and I want to get married wearing a kilt.
You did. You were very specific.
Those were my requests.
Those were his non-negotiables. Savannah, Lafayette Square, which is a beautiful, beautiful square in the heart of the historic district of Savannah, and wearing a kilt. So we can talk about that for a brief moment. The reason for the kilts, everybody asks us, is I discovered, even though I grew up knowing my Italian heritage, I discovered a few years ago that actually I'm majority Irish and Scottish. Almost 80%. And we did the DNA on Juan Carlos a couple of years ago and discovered he's a percentage of Irish. So
Irish and Scottish.
Yeah, he's got Irish and Scottish.
Wales and England too.
Yeah, Wales and England, even though he's Tico from Costa Rica. So that played a part of it because of our background in European heritage. And then the second part was when I met Juan Carlos on the cruise ship back in 2015, he was wearing a kilt. So that part of it too. So we chose the Tartan Scotland Forever because that's a universal kilt that was bequeathed by Mary Queen of Scots to all of the people, and that's the kilt that we wore. So that was part of our decision. We knew that before we even made any plans. That
Oh yeah.
we knew Savannah, we knew we wanted to get married in that park, and we knew we were going to wear kilts. Beyond that, we really didn't know a lot more. And we went into the planning stage really quickly because we knew that we wanted to get married on our anniversary weekend, which was that weekend. We got married on February 16th. We actually met each other on February 14th, Valentine's Day. I know, isn't it romantic? Can you stand it? On the Love Boat, of all things. So we wanted to get married that weekend because it was going to be our 5-year anniversary as a couple. But we only had a couple months to put it together. And
Before you continue,
Yeah.
I want to say hello and thank you for your best wishes to Darion,
hey, Darian.
Kevin, Maxine out 808.
Uh-huh.
He's saying felicidades.
Felicidades. Muchas
And
gracias.
then
Kevin N. Congratulations.
Lori Vibe,
Lori Vibe.
and Rick.
Wow,
Yeah.
all the way
Hi,
from
Ricky.
British Columbia. I love it. We loved British Columbia.
Oh yeah, we've been there
when we were up there.
Yeah.
So we love that part of the world up in Canada. I know it's a lot colder right now. Brr.
He said that he loves the matching jammies. See, I told you it was a good idea.
I know. I debated a little bit with one guy. I was like, do we really want to wear matchy? So what do you think? Is it a good idea that we wore the matching outfits? Shout out to Juan Carlos' sister for getting them for us. So let's tell them a little bit about our experience planning our wedding. What were some of the things that surprised you the most? And then I'll share for me. I'll put you on the spot. Like where you were like, wow, I didn't know we would have to do.
Pretty much 90% of the wedding. There's a lot of things that people do here in the US that we do not do in Costa Rica. To be honest, I haven't been in many weddings in my life. It's, yeah. So, but the few ones that I've been, there's a lot of things here that are just like, why are we even doing this?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's my one thing that I will say that I learned from this experience.
Was that we do a lot more
A lot more of things that
than
like,
here. Now that we did all of those things, are there any of them that you would have said, we could have lived without that? Or are you happy that we did everything that we did?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy that we did all that we did because at the end it was a plus for all our guests,
Sure.
family and friends, and they liked it. But I mean, one thing that, for instance, I was thinking about, we had a coffee table in the park
Yeah.
for our guests to have coffee while they were waiting for us at the park. And it was great again for them because it was a plus, but it was one of those things that I was like, well, they will have to wait for us for a few minutes. When are they gonna have time to have any coffee? Or they can just wait there. The park is beautiful, they can just walk around and see the park. But at the end I was happy that we had that.
Yeah, and I think they were too, because it was a little chilly the day of our wedding and a little rainy. And we'll talk about the rain in a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, then the trolley was also we had a trolley that took people, like most of our guests
Most of our guests.
from our hotel to the park or to the square and then back to
Right.
the hotel. And that was something again that I had never seen in any wedding.
Well, and I don't think that's very common in the USA either. That was a little special thing that we did. And because we had it in Savannah, Georgia, the nice thing was that they have those trolley companies, and So it made it convenient for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. That, and I mean, they also had a tour, like a
Yeah,
touristic tour of Savannah, which was great. But that was another one of those things that you're like, okay, they could just get there and go back
yeah,
on
yeah.
their own means.
And
But it
we
was,
didn't
I love
even
that. Love
we
that.
didn't even think about that until we met. Let me give a shout out to in the chat. We're going to give a shout out to Carlson's Premier Events, and specifically James Carlson and Amira from Carlson's Premier Events. And the reason we're shouting them out, and thank you to my sister, she's watching. My two nieces were married in Savannah, Georgia, and my sister hired this wedding planner, James, and his company to do their weddings. And when we started planning ours, and the fact that we live in Fort Lauderdale and the wedding was going to be in Georgia, we really needed somebody to kind of help us put our ideas to make it all come together. And James really did a great job. But a huge shout out to my sister who's watching, because without her help, I don't think we could have done this either, because she was
Yeah.
really instrumental in helping guide us and point
Mhm.
us and give us suggestions and ideas, because she had already planned two weddings for her two daughters,
Yeah,
my
with
nieces,
James.
with James. So that really helped us out a lot, having a wedding planner. So that would be number one recommendation. If you're planning a wedding, I guess no matter how big or small, just to let you know, we chose to do a relatively small wedding. We wanted it to be intimate and only have those people that were close to us, uh, and part of our story as our wedding. So that meant our immediate families, and then a handful of friends that have been really instrumental in Juan Carlos's and I's life together as a couple. So our wedding list consisted of or our wedding party, or guest list was 47 people. So we were less than 50. With you and I, it turned out to be
Yep.
49. So
Yeah. Another shout out. So this person, this is Tom. See, this is
oh, hey Tom.
and he's asking if I wore something under the kilt.
Ah,
Again, it's a kilt.
the old question.
It's not a skirt. It's a kilt.
Yes,
And
everybody
then
wants to know.
Shannon, yeah, and Shannon say, "We're extra here in the South."
Yes,
Yes.
there is a lot of extra in the South, and we'll talk about that too, because the reality was, I'm not going to lie, as being a gay couple and deciding to get married in Georgia, I had preconceived notions in my mind that we might run up against some challenges, or maybe there might be some concerns. And so every time we had a meeting, like the initial meeting we had with the wedding planner and the initial meeting we had with the venue that we chose as our reception, I said to James and I said to Larissa, who worked at the hotel, I want to make sure that every single person who works our wedding, from the person who's serving the food to the person who's behind the bar to anybody working on it, is 100% comfortable working with a same-sex wedding. And what was surprising to me, and it shouldn't have been, but it was that every one of those, like James and Larissa, they were all like, "This is Savannah. You're not going to have any problems. This is going to be great." And it was really refreshing to hear that going
Yeah.
into it. And in general, overall, we really had zero pushback from vendors or
Mhm.
people, or our experience of having our wedding, being a gay couple in Savannah, was 100% just awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the courthouse, and we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
That was like
Um,
amazing.
so thank you, Brian. He's saying happy to have that he loves the
Romantic
yes.
couples. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Ricky is asking for more pictures. We will post more.
Yes, and just to let you all know, we literally just got the other day from our photographer, and a shout out to Rich, who is our photographer. If you look at our Instagram or you look at our Twitter feed, you can see some of the photographs we've posted there. He really did an amazing job, and that was part of the planning process too, of finding a photographer that would work well with us and what we wanted out of the wedding. We didn't want to hire a traditional wedding photographer. we wanted somebody that could help tell a story, and yeah, wow, our wedding photographer really did that. And then today, in addition, our wedding photographer, we had a young lady who's a Savannah College of Art and Design film school graduate, who's an aspiring young filmmaker who also is doing wedding videos. She was our videographer for our wedding, and we just saw tonight, or last night, sorry, we got our little highlight reel for our wedding, and we were blown away. And we're going to share that with you all. That's coming up in a couple days. We're putting together a special video with the highlights that she filmed, plus some of our experience leading up to the wedding.
Yeah.
We're kind of creating a little video that we're going to put out on the channel.
A documentary.
A little documentary, yeah, exactly.
Ice Night, it's asking any special wedding music. Well, let me tell you.
Yes, we did.
We did. We had first in the Lafayette Square. We had the bagpiper. He was playing the bagpiper.
The bagpipes.
Yeah. The bagpipes. He was playing before we arrived to the square for our guests that were waiting for us.
Yes.
And then when we arrived and we were walking down the aisle, he was playing and walking behind us.
Yeah.
During the ceremony, he was not playing, of course, but after the ceremony, he continued playing and walking behind us.
Right.
And then in the reception, we had a musician and
yeah, we had a singer-songwriter
Yes.
that we hired who was a piano player, singer-songwriter who was phenomenal.
he was fantastic. Yeah, and then we had
My
Amberly,
niece. Yeah.
our niece, playing a very special song for us during the ceremony. During the reception.
Yeah, she sang Annie's song,
Annie's
which
song.
that's a song by John Denver, and it's very special to Juan Carlos and I. It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
So that's like our song. So to have my niece sing that for us was very special.
Yeah.
And then
And then third, we had a DJ during the party,
Mhm.
and she was fantastic. She's a DJ from Savannah, actually.
Yeah, her name is Barry. Shout out
Exactly.
to Barry.
Shout out to Barry. She was amazing. We had
Yeah.
the best time with her.
Yeah, all of our family and friends. We cultivated our own playlist on a drive. Actually, we were driving from Savannah back to Fort Lauderdale, and the whole entire drive, Juan Carlos and I were picking the music that we
On
wanted.
Spotify, we were creating our
Yeah,
list.
and we created that list, and then we sent it to the DJ. And it was a lot of 80s music, a lot of Disney music, because we're big fans of Disney. And to be honest, when we were planning this wedding reception, we actually told the venue that we really didn't think there was going to be a lot of people dancing, that it was going to be more of like a loungy atmosphere, but we wanted to have the dance floor just in case. Well, from the minute that DJ hit the dance floor or started playing, some of our guests were on the dance floor, and from literally, I would say 7:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock that night, everybody was out dancing on the dance floor. So that surprised us, and we had a blast. We had the best time.
Yeah, here's the deal. So she started playing the playlist.
Oh,
that
yeah,
we had,
yeah.
and people were like, kind of dancing. And then my sister came to me and she said, "You think we can play some some more Latin music, more like?" I was like, "We already had a playlist, and that's what we want to play."
Yeah, and let me back up. You've got to understand, Juan Carlos, although he's Latino, he's Costa Rican, he's not a huge fan of Latino music, but his family is. So the next thing you know,
they took over.
and my entire family and his entire family and all of our friends are out there dancing to reggaeton and Latino music, and it ended up being a blast. So yeah, if you're doing a wedding, don't be afraid to let your guests sort of dictate a little bit about what the music is too, because really that's what it was about. It was about celebrating and having fun. And for us, and speaking of that and celebrating and family and friends, one of the things that was important for us in planning our wedding, when we decided to take the time, and again, we didn't take much time, we only had a couple months to put it together from the minute of decision to doing it, was that we were able to bring his family, not all of his family, but some of his family from Costa Rica, his mother, his father, his sister, his best friend Marcela and her husband, And then he has cousins that are originally from Costa Rica that live up in New Jersey, and they were able to come down. And then to bring them and my family together, and then to have those two families, even though there's language barriers, everybody coming together to celebrate us. The reality is, all of the planning and could not take away the joy that moment was on our day of having our families together, and then our friends getting a chance to witness that and share in that special moment. It was truly amazing. And to be honest, I said it during our reception, and I'll share with you all. Never in a million years, especially being a gay couple and a gay man, 10 years ago, would I have ever thought that what we had together we would have been able to do. So yeah, I mean, here we are in 2020, and we're able to bring families together from different cultures and have a big gay wedding in Georgia, and everybody celebrate with us. Was truly a remarkable moment. And for all of our brothers and sisters in the gay community, the LGBT community, that unfortunately don't have the same level of support, our hearts go out to them, but we are truly blessed to have that. And so for that, we're grateful.
Yep.
So yeah, we wanted to share that little moment too. It was very special.
Then Tom is asking for an anniversary reception in Disney World. I don't know, Tom. And the anniversary will be next year.
Yeah.
We've been just married for 3 weeks. We're still trying to figure these things out.
Yeah, we're working it out.
And then,
you mean Tom from California, Tom?
Yeah.
He wants an anniversary party.
And
well,
then,
Tom, you were having a great time at our party. I noticed you were flitting about. So Tom is one of our guests. So shout out everybody to Tom. And he came in all the way from California, and he brought his special friend with him to our wedding. And the two of them had a blast for sure.
Yeah. Then we had dessert, make me happy. Thank you. This person is saying congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have this question: any stress before the wedding? Well, I mean,
yes.
I won't say it was super stressful,
No.
because it was not. But of course, there's stress. I mean, making sure that things are going to be ready and on time, and the deadlines, because there's a lot of things that you need to have up ahead.
Planned way ahead.
Yes, that.
And you kind of rely on other people too.
Yeah,
That was a little stressful.
Yeah, but and then, like, if you cannot expect some things to just happen the day of the wedding, because it's just not possible. You need to plan those things ahead and have them ready a lot time ahead of the actual day.
That's true.
Because the vendors, they are not waiting just for you to go and knock the door and say, hey, I need 100 whatever that you need.
Yeah.
Or I need 50 or whatever you need. Or they have more customers, more clients to work with.
Absolutely.
So you need to provide them with your request in time, so they are ready.
Yeah.
And they can provide whatever you need.
Yeah, and so, and again, for us, with planning our wedding on a relatively short timeline, it was important that we were very detail oriented. And my background in live entertainment production and being a producer and things like that, I'm very meticulous about asking the right questions, making sure. So, for example, we'll give you an example actually here. This is a great example. This is a beautiful, beautiful little copper mug. It's called a Moscow Mule mug. And it is engraved with our mantra. It says, happiness is a lifestyle. It says Gio and Juan Carlos, and it has our wedding date on it. Let's zoom in and see if you guys can see this. I'll try to tilt it a little. Hopefully you can kind of see the engraving. The lighting in here is not the best.
Let me see if I...
But anyway, so with regard to this is a good example. We knew that we needed to have, I searched online looking for a vendor or a supplier that could supply these mugs that could also do engraving on them, because I had a vision that we both talked about. We wanted to have something as a takeaway for our guests, and specifically we wanted these to be at each place setting at our meal, and they were filled with roses. And so that took a lot of planning and coordinating with our wedding planner
Hmm.
to make sure that the supplier had enough that we needed, that they could meet the deadline, and that we got them ordered and we got them
And that they
shipped.
could make this design that we selected.
Yeah, because we wanted a custom design that wasn't something off the shelf.
Hmm.
So, and we did run into a little stress with these because it was sort of last minute, and we were told one thing, and then we communicated with the wedding planner, and there was a delay in communication between the wedding planner and the vendor, and then a couple days went by, and then they were coming back and saying that maybe it was going to cost more money. So the reality is we ended up getting what we wanted, and we got it at the price we wanted, but it was a lot of negotiating. And just for something as simple as this, and we only needed to order 50 of these, but realized it was not as simple as just saying, hey, let me go on Amazon and order 50 of these mugs and have them shipped. No, it was having a design custom made, putting it on, and yeah, there was a lot involved.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also our invitations, getting, we wanted,
Yeah, we customize a lot of things. So again, those things need to be planned ahead because you need to decide what do you want to put on to if you want something right on what do you want,
right.
how do you want it, even the font that you want to.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
that
font.
was a discussion between the two of us because I was like, I want to use the same font on everything, and he was like, no, it's fine, we can use this. So that kind of discussions that you need to have and need to happen because if he had just decided whatever and those things come in and I'm like, well, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. So what you have to make sure to make the
Communicate.
decisions and communicate exactly what you want the way that you want it. So
Yeah.
we customized this, the napkins, the coffee cups,
The
um,
placeholders
the
at the table.
placeholders. Yes,
So each place card, we had a menu on each place setting, and we did the menus.
I
Yeah.
we had the menus too, and we had an extra thing on that because my family and I, being from Costa Rica, I wanted stuff in Spanish too. So I was like, okay, I want our menus to be in Spanish.
Yeah.
I want the what else was in Spanish? There was something else.
So we had signs that we created for
Oh,
like
yeah.
the coffee bar
Yeah,
and
that too.
the sign-in book and all of that. We had signage made in both English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And
But I feel that something else on the table was also in Spanish.
no,
Or
just
menu?
just the menu cards.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, and the other thing that we did is we translated the entire wedding. We wrote our own ceremony, and so we wrote it from soup to nuts, the whole entire thing. And then Juan Carlos translated the entire ceremony, and then we printed that out because the ceremony was in English, but we wanted to make sure that his mother and father, because they were there, that they would understand the ceremony. So we printed it out, and they had copies as well as other members of his family and friends that spoke Spanish to have copies of the ceremony. And then I had my vows, because we each wrote our vows to each other. I had my vows translated from a friend of mine into Spanish, and he in turn translated his as well into Spanish. So all of those things, that's a lot of work. And when you talk about stress, is it stressful? No, not really. I think it was a little stressful just making sure that like the week before, did everything come in that we ordered? Did we have everything? The most stressful thing was our kilts, actually,
Yeah.
because they were supposed to be delivered to us here in South Florida, and then there was a delay in shipping, and we were going to be out of town leading up to our wedding. We went to Disney, and so the kilt company, shout out to them as well. USA Kilt Rentals is who we utilized. They couldn't have been greater because they ended up changing the shipping, and they had it shipped directly to us at the hotel we were staying at Disney. So it allowed us to try them on. And then there was a slight issue with my jacket that it didn't fit quite right, and they drop shipped another jacket to Savannah, although they accidentally sent the wrong one. So that was a little stressful, but then they drop shipped another one. So the reality was, luckily we had a week beforehand of those little comedy of errors, if you will, and then everything worked out, obviously, the day of the wedding. The only other stressor for me, not so much for him, was I was obsessed with the weather.
He was obsessed. Like he would
I
not
was
stop look. He would not stop looking at the weather daily. Like every hour, he will come back to me and say, "Now the percentage, the probability of rain is 60. Now it's 40. Now I'm like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We
yeah.
won't change that. We cannot change that. So we'll just do it, right?"
Yeah, it was, and even the morning of, there was a moment where we had a moment with each other because I looked at him and I was like, look, it looks like between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock is the highest percentage of rain. Maybe we could talk to the wedding planner and all the vendors and we could move the wedding an hour earlier, and we could contact all of our guests.
And I was not having it.
He
I
was
like,
not happy. He was like, "Are
you
you crazy?
are you out of your mind? How do you plan to move 50 people to be ready 1 hour earlier? And not just that, also all the vendors,
Yeah, everything.
and everything
Yeah.
else. It's just
It was
it's
just
not
a
gonna
wild,
change.
I had a wild idea in my head. The reality was for me, we had thought about doing this wedding in the park for so long, and then planned it, and then literally the day before our wedding, the Saturday before our wedding, was like the most picture perfect day in Savannah. It was like beautiful skies, the temperature was just right, and then for whatever reason, that cold front came through, and we had rain predicted the next day. And so I was a little bit stressed out and a little bit overly concerned about what the weather was going to be like. And I'll be honest with you that even the morning of, I reached out to my sister, and Shannon, if you're still watching, yep, she's still there. God bless her, because I got
That's
online and I found 20 clear bubble umbrellas that were available at a Target out on one of the islands not too far from where my sister lived. And I went online and I bought every single one of those umbrellas. And I called her and I was like, "Can you please, please, please go pick them up for me and bring them to us at the hotel so that everybody in the wedding party can have." I'm glad I did it, because actually I love the photographs of everybody with the matching umbrellas.
Mhm.
And I think it looks really cool. But the bottom line is that it was raining. We got into the carriage. We had a horse-drawn carriage that took us from our hotel to the park,
That was my idea too.
and that was Juan Carlos's idea because he's a prince and he wanted
I'm a prince.
a carriage. And I settled into that ride, and then within just a couple minutes, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. And then, to be honest with everybody, and it wasn't until the following day that it really sunk in about, I wouldn't have changed the weather for. I think it made our wedding more romantic. It made the photographs so much more interesting. It made the story of our wedding more interesting. And yeah, I think it turned out to be way more beautiful than if it was a bright sunny day.
Yeah, I mean, it is true that everyone wants a bright sunny day on their wedding day,
Right.
and we wanted it. But again, I kept saying, okay, this is going to happen no matter what, no matter if it's raining or not. This is going to happen. So I stopped looking at the weather, because the weather is not going to
Right.
tell me whether
Whether we're in love with each other and whether we're going
or
to get
whether
married.
we're
Yeah.
going to get married or not. We are going
Exactly.
to do it.
And we did. And
So
you know what?
Can you imagine if I just follow you on your hysteria?
In my craziness. So I do, God bless you for. He was much calmer about it, and I wasn't like freaking out, like running around like a crazy person, but I was pretty stressed out. So anyway, so yeah, thank you for putting up with my craziness the morning of our wedding, and but it turned out to be absolutely beautiful. And actually, all of our guests and everybody has commented about, even though it was a little cold and a little rainy, they all had a great time. And we had to make some adjustments with our reception at the hotel. Originally, we were going to have our cocktail hour outside in a courtyard. Obviously, because of the rain, we moved it indoors. We moved all of that inside. But our reception and dinner and all of that was already planned to be inside. So the hotel did a great job of accommodating that and making it happen. Shannon says, "You are Stephen." And my sister made that comment. What she means by that is her husband. He's like a saint. His name is Stephen. He's like very calm. My sister and I come by our little anxiety moments. Yeah, we just inherited that from our family. It's just a reality. So Juan Carlos has learned how to deal with it.
Yeah. Um, then wait. Okay. We have another.
Oh, Ice Knight wants to know if there were any tears during the ceremony.
Yeah, but I want to.
Oh wait, we'll be right back to you, Ice Knight. Hold on.
Oh, the fabulous Todd says congratulations. So thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
And then we have Kevin asking, have you been on your honeymoon yet? No, we have not.
No.
We have plans for that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we'll tell you what our plans are.
And then Ice Knight, yes, asking any tears during the ceremony. Yes, a lot.
Yes, yes. I cry. I'm a bigger crier than he is. Not that neither one of us is more emotional. I think because we both
are.
I guess I am. Yeah, I can cry at a Hallmark commercial. But I will tell you though, even I kept saying to my friends leading up to the wedding because we wrote our own vows to each other, and when I wrote my vows, I was crying, and then every time I would try to read them aloud, even by myself, I would get all emotional and choked up. And I was proud of myself though during the wedding. I only got choked up really once, like doing the vows.
Yeah.
And you did too.
A couple of times.
Yeah, he made me actually cry a little more because there was one moment I looked at you and his eyes welled up. It's just, that's what you do. The reality is when you are as in love as we are with each other and you're sharing that moment, and then you realize that you're sharing it in front of the most important people in your life, your parents, your siblings, your friends. Yeah, it's very, very special. And I've attended so many weddings, and I always was like, oh, that's so sweet. But until you're there and you're the actual person getting married, you have no idea how spectacular it is. So, yeah.
And then, yes, and also during the cocktail hour and dinner.
Yeah, we got up and
speeches.
had a couple speeches, and I got emotional. I had one ugly cry moment for sure. And that was really special, those moments. So.
Kari is watching us.
Cars, my other sister's watching. Hey, Kari, love you.
She said that I too have on play great pajamas.
Yay!
We have to get together once and
have a pajama party.
Yeah.
Are you wearing your socks though? Look at our little matching socks. Yay! Yeah, we're comfy. It's a little chilly here in South Florida tonight. It's like drizzly rain. Mm-hmm. So we were like, we're just going to stay home and put on our pajamas and share a little bit about our wedding experience with all of you.
You wore it better.
What?
She said you wore it better.
Cute. So
now let me tell you a little about how was the actual day of the wedding.
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah. So that morning we woke up not super early, but yeah, early. We went downstairs, had lunch. We went downstairs, had breakfast.
Yes. Breakfast.
And then that morning we saw Larissa.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Larissa was the lady that originally helped us plan it at the hotel.
Yeah. And then we came back upstairs. Before that, we had a kind of meeting chat with that person that was putting together the stuff in the.
Yeah, we met with it because we knew that, and the hotel knew that there was that the weather was not looking so great for the afternoon. So they approached us about moving the bar from the outside to the inside. So we kind of did a walkthrough and sort of made some decisions on how for example, the singer-songwriter that we hired. Kenny Munshaw is his name, by the way. You can find him on YouTube. Kenny Munshaw, great guy. We had planned on putting him in a position where he would be at his keyboards and we could have the speakers facing the outdoors for our cocktail hour, and then he would just turn himself around and be inside for our dinner because there were these double doors that led to the outside. So we had to relocate him in between the room that we had our dinner and the room that we had our kind of dance reception loungy area. But actually, it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So
but we, just
we
those
had
little
that-
logistics.
Yeah, we had that logistics meeting. We came back to the room, and later we started getting ready.
Yeah.
And then we took a shower. We started getting ready. The meanwhile, my sister, my mom, and my friends, they were all getting ready at the apartment that we had rented for them. They had someone having to make their hair.
They were having their hair did and their makeup done.
And makeup, yes,
hair and makeup.
Yes, and then the photographer and the videographer came to our room, and they were taking some photos and video. And then we finished getting ready. We went out for a couple more photos, right?
Oh, there was one more stressful moment that happened in there with the trolley.
Oh yeah, because of course my family, being my family, they were late. I asked them, can you please, the only thing that I'm asking you to do is be on time. The trolley is supposed to leave at 2:30. So please be on time. Be at 2:15. 2:15 is they are not there. 2:20 they are not there. 2:30 is they are not there. So I call them. We're getting ready to go there. I'm like, you need to be here now.
Yeah, like all of the other guests were already on board the trolley, ready to go because we had a tight time frame.
Yeah.
But that's let me just say, in Juan Carlos' family's defense, it's a Costa Rican thing. Everybody in Costa Rica is on some sort of weird. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
They call it Tico time.
I think the idea is that the time that you're supposed to be there is the time that you're actually leaving your house.
It's the most bizarre thing.
Anyway, so we had that stressful moment because I was calling like, I need you here right now because there's people waiting and the trolley needs to leave now. Anyway, They finally made it. They got into the trolley.
Yeah.
And then as the trolley was leaving, our carriage
arrived.
Yeah. And then we got in the carriage. And then we had a beautiful carriage ride.
We did. Let me say one thing about the carriage ride too. It was so romantic just being in the carriage with him, and again with the rain coming down. But the carriage went through the historic district, and as we're going through town, even though it was raining, there were still people out and about and tourists.
Yeah,
and
because
locals.
It wasn't like crazy rain.
It wasn't pouring. It was like a light drizzly rain, and people were cheering for us. Like when they saw us in the, of course, we're wearing formal kilts and we're in a carriage, and people were like taking our photo and they were like, yay. And to get that response again as a gay couple going through the streets of Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and having not one single person negatively react to the fact that we were getting married, that was really special too.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll say something. So as we were on the ride and I see him doing this,
I did.
And
I took out the phone for a moment.
And I said, okay, take that selfie, put the phone down, and enjoy this.
And I did.
Please.
I took one photo, and I didn't take my cell phone out again until like the last half hour of the reception, because we hired a photographer and we hired a videographer, and I had to trust that they were going to do what we hired them to do and be able to capture our wedding, and so that he and I could just enjoy it. So yeah, I was not vlogging or filming or anything. We were just in the moment and enjoying it. And so
it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was nice to be able to do that. And
and it was, again, we were in that beautiful white carriage.
Yes, it was nice.
Wearing our full kilts and people waving and saying congratulations. It was just fantastic.
Hold on, my sister says she's on Tico time. Shannon, yep, you are on Tico time.
I don't know.
Sometimes I'm pretty much on time when I have to be. Yeah, for sure.
And then we finally arrived 6 minutes later.
Our carriage ride was a little longer than it was supposed to be.
Yeah. We were supposed to be there at 3, but we were 6 minutes late, which, it's fine.
It's fine. It just
And
meant that our
then-
guests had to wait in the rain a little longer.
our ride was
our
longer.
royal subjects were waiting for us to arrive.
We were, how do you say that?
Fashionably late.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And then we got there. We left the carriage, and then our wedding party was walking down the aisle
Yep.
before us.
With the bagpiper
With the
playing.
bagpiper playing, and then we walked down the aisle with the bagpiper playing behind us.
Yeah.
And then the ceremony took place.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, even though again it was raining, but it was beautiful. It was very special. It was super special to see my family, his family becoming one single family, one beautiful, united family. Looking at all my friends, all our friends, with smiles in their faces, regardless, everything, the rain, the cold weather, whatever they were, all with smiles and tears. Once the ceremony finished, we took some photos, and then we did another ride around the square.
Yeah, we rode around in the horse and carriage while all of our guests were getting on the trolley.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the trolley was we made arrangements with the trolley company for all of our friends and family that are from out of town that traveled to our wedding. They got a little 45-minute mini tour of Savannah, so that it gave him and I time with our photographer to go around and take photographs. And so while we were getting photographed, our guests were getting a tour of Savannah, which I thought was pretty cool. And I guess according to them, they loved it.
Yeah, something special that we also
The
prepared
couch
for
is
them.
making me sick.
It's the tour was in both Spanish and English.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
we had a tour guide specifically that could speak both.
Yeah,
Which
so
was
they
important.
liked it. They
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh, and then we can tell all of our guests got a little gift too.
Yeah, we'll go to that.
We'll get to that.
And then
Besides the mugs.
It was perfect timing, because when we were done with the photos after the ceremony, we got to the Bryce Hotel where our reception was going to be, and we got there, and immediately the trolley got there too. So we were able to.
Yeah, we were standing there as all of our guests got off the trolley. The timing couldn't have been perfect, so
Yeah.
it gave us an opportunity to
greet everyone.
greet everybody coming off the trolley and welcome them to the reception, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And that's another nice thing about, and he's reiterated that to me over and over about what was special for us with the wedding and keeping it small, was that it really gave him and I time during our
to
reception
share with everyone.
to really have some quality time with every single one of our friends and family during the night, that we got a chance to really see them, as opposed to, where you have a wedding with hundreds of guests and you barely get to talk to anybody and you're running around like a crazy person. Keeping it under 50 people allowed us really some quality time with our friends and family, so that made it, to me, much more special.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Um,
And then again, they arrived, and then the cocktail hour started.
mhm.
And then we had time to just mingle, blend with people, just talk.
And while the cocktail hour was going on too, one of the things that we did a little pivot. Originally, our plan was to do photographs with our family, a lot of photographs in the park with our family, but because of the weather, we did a few photographs in the park with family, let them go on the tour, and then we made arrangements with a photographer during that cocktail hour to take some photographs. And what was great, because he scoped out a little spot that was in the hotel with a beautiful piece of artwork that was hanging on the wall that really made for a nice little backdrop for us.
That
to
actually had our color.
yeah, the artwork matched our kilts, which was kind of cool.
Kinda cool.
Just happened to be that way.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice that we were able to incorporate taking photos with our family and getting those moments that we were unable to do because of the weather outside. So that was good.
So then after the cocktail hour, we had
The dinner.
the dinner, but before that we had a couple of speeches and toasts,
Yeah.
and then Amberly singing.
Yeah, my niece really having her. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying not to cry right now. But anyway, there were so many of those little special moments. But when, in December, we approached her and asked her if she would be willing to sing Annie's song for us at the wedding because that song is very special to us. And it's really special to us because a very dear friend of mine and his um, that was really responsible for him and I meeting each other in many ways because he dragged me on the cruise uh, and then I ultimately met him on. Anyway, um, he would have originally been at our wedding to sing, but unfortunately he passed away last year, untimely and he's sorely missed. But to have my niece honor him and us by singing that song was just meant the world to us. So yeah, it was a very special moment. And then your sister getting up and doing a beautiful speech, your best
Hmm.
friend Marcella. My father got up and gave a speech that just blew me away, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the room. Um, one of the things that he said to Juan Carlos and his family, which I thought was really kind of sweet, he said, by the way, when you marry one of us, you marry all of us, which is very true. Yeah, it's scary. Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to the family. But anyway, it was just a very special moment.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted.
and then we had the dinner, and after the dinner we had a couple more speeches,
Hmm.
and then we had the party.
And the party was whooping it up.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time, and we did the cake cutting too.
We
Oh,
did, yeah.
and that was another thing too. We debated. We did a couple different cake tastings with places in Savannah. We ultimately selected a place called Flirt with Dessert, which was just they were knocked it out of the park. And we opted to do cupcakes and a single tier cake for us to cut. We chose the flavors were whiskey Irish cream, which
That
was
was
like
the top.
that was the top layer,
Mhm.
and also we had cupcakes in that flavor. We had hummingbird cake, and we also had lemon blueberry,
Mm-hmm.
and every single flavor was phenomenal. I had to tell Juan Carlos just a couple days ago to stop because we had a couple leftovers, and they were stale, and he was still eating them.
I ate them all. I ate them all. I'm like, I'm going to eat
I'm
this.
like, oh my god, the icing is hard. He's like, no, I'm still eating these.
It was hard, like it was like a cross on top, but under that cross, it was still very sweet and yummy and creamy.
Yes.
So
I did take a
I
bite.
ate them
They
all.
weren't bad. But anyway, those cupcakes were phenomenal, and that company, Flirt with Dessert, just did an amazing job. Yeah, I mean, we really really got lucky with regard to all of the vendors and the host hotel, the Bryce, and the chef that worked at the Bryce. One of the special things that he didn't mention that they did for us in order to incorporate a little bit of Costa Rica. There's a dish, and actually there's a video on our channel you can watch.
Shannon said 4 weeks old. It's not 4 weeks. It's 3 weeks plus.
Yeah, Shannon, it's only 3 weeks tomorrow.
Plus, remember, Steven was eating pretzels of 2 years, 2 years old.
Yeah, just a little while ago. But anyway, the chef hit it out of the park, and when we had our meeting with the hotel, we asked that if they could make a special dish as one of the past hors d'oeuvres at our cocktail hour, and we gave her a recipe and a video of us that's on the channel of making a dish from Costa Rica, which is called chifrijo. So yeah, I encourage you to look for that in our channel if you've never seen it. But the hotel made that for us, the chef at the hotel, and our guests loved it.
Yeah.
My,
Actually,
my one niece had like
Sydney,
4
yeah,
helpings of it.
yeah, it was really good.
Sydney
It
loved
was it was more because it's not a spicy dish at all. In Costa Rica, we like spicy food, but we don't like our food is not spicy. We
Right,
don't
right.
use a lot of spice. But they put a lot of spice in this one particular dish in our wedding day. And it was good, but it was just more spicy than it should be. But it was very good.
Yeah,
People were loving it. My parents were really happy about that.
yeah.
Because it's a little bit of Costa Rica in our reception.
Yeah, it was a nice treat to have a little bit of Costa Rica.
Yeah, we had the stuffed mushroom.
We had
and,
stuffed mushrooms with Italian
yes,
sausage
and then the
and the
chifrijo.
chifrijo,
Those were
the 2 past hors
yes,
d'oeuvres.
exactly. and then we had two options for our guests for the main dish, salmon and chicken.
Yeah.
Both were fantastic.
Yeah, the food was really, really
Yeah, and
good.
then we had the cake, and like a later snack was the Cuban sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did it after our or during the dancing part. They
And
brought out
then we had
some sandwiches
the bar, the alcohol bar,
and a
the
coffee bar
and the coffee bar. Yeah,
and hot cocoa too.
yeah,
There was coffee and hot cocoa. So yeah, I mean, we had lots of little special things. So the reality was,
and the photo booth.
oh yeah,
That
the
was
photo
a lot
booth
of
was a
fun.
huge hit, and that was another wonderful thing that our wedding photographer had that option, and it was such a cool setup. It was basically a ring light that allowed all of our guests to either do a photograph or a animated GIF. And all you had to do is put in either your phone number or your email address or your Instagram account, and you immediately got the photograph sent to you. And then the cool thing for us is that we actually got all of them. So all of the zany stuff that all of our guests did in that little photo booth, we got copies of.
Yeah, and he
And-
created a little video with all.
Yeah, I took all the animated GIFs and created a little video that I put out on Facebook. I did. So maybe I'll incorporate that in. I could throw it into our video.
You can put it in a separate video here in the channel.
Yeah, I could put it on the channel too.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps I will.
Uh,
It was
what
fun.
else?
Shannon says she loved the photo booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
people were
for
loving it.
for you guys watching, what questions do you have for us about the wedding? What are your thoughts? And now that you've
But
kind of heard.
before,
Oh wait, there's more.
yeah, we were not done with
Oh.
that day. We also have the leaving the hotel with the
Yes.
sparkle.
The sparklers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ordered these. They were big. They were like 3 feet long.
Yeah.
Special sparklers that you can use for weddings, and we did a photo opportunity where it made it look like all of our guests were lined up outside, and he and I went down the line with the sparklers above us, and we had beautiful video of that and beautiful photographs. It was just a really nice ending
Mm-hmm.
to our wedding, which was just awesome. So yeah, loved it.
Yeah, and then the night was over. People were leaving, and that was our big.
And we took a big breath.
That was our big beautiful day.
It was just a spectacular day, and at one point we talked about just doing a justice of the peace, go to the courthouse, really, or as my sister loves me when I say it, wham bam, thank you bam, and just a quick wedding. But that when we decided to spend a little extra time and plan it, I'm so glad we did. It made it more special, and yeah, it was a lot more money to do it that way. And
Yeah.
weddings are not cheap.
No.
I
in this
was
country.
holy moly! I'm just shocked. I'm like I'm in the wrong business. I need to be doing wedding planning. Because,
Yeah, there's things that like surprised me how expensive they were, like the cake, because I was even discussing with him like, okay, this is just a cake. If you buy the same cake in Publix, it's gonna cost like a fourth of what it's costing us now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying that it was not worth it. It's just saying that for me it was a lot of money and a lot of things that you would never think that would be that expensive, especially because again, I haven't been in many weddings. I have never been involved, besides this one, my own, in any of the planning on anything that has to do to anything leading to the wedding. For me, it was just getting there, celebrating, leave. So I was surprised.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There were lots of those little like what? What? How much is that going to be? Oh, okay. Do we really need that? There was a lot of that. Do we really need that? And then he would bat his big brown eyes at me, and then sometimes he would be like, he would look at me and go, "We don't need that." And then I would bat my big brown eyes at him, and
Like
there were things that
like
I
there
wanted.
were things that we were discussing. Like, I don't think we really need that. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right, but maybe we can do it." And I'm like, "Okay, it's up to you." And 2 minutes later, he was ordering on what's the page?
I ordered from we did a lot of our own stuff, like the invitations and the reception cards and the menu cards. I did all of that on Zazzle.
Exactly. He like 2 minutes later he was on Zazzle ordering whatever we had discussed that maybe we don't need it, but at the end we had like the
Like
napkins. Like
Like,
I
yeah,
don't- I don't
I had never
remember-
even thought about that. And our wedding planner was like, "Are you going to have customized beverage napkins?" And we were like, "Customized
like,
beverage
why?
napkins?" I'm like, "Yeah, just have white napkins." And he's like, "Oh, well, it just gives that little extra special touch." And again, he didn't make any extra money by us doing it. It was just one of those things. And then when I went online and looked, and it really wasn't that much. Like every little thing, although it costs more money, I was always like, well, it's really not that much. But then, of course, you put it all on a spreadsheet, and then you look at the end, and you're like, gulp. Okay, we're going to be paying for this wedding for the rest of our life. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, so the reality is, I've never been married before. He's never been married before. Neither one of us are ever going to get married again because we're in it
to win it.
to win it. So it was worth the investment in our future and the investment in our friends and family to celebrate with us. That's how I look at it.
Yeah,
So,
let's
no regrets.
read a little more comments.
What else we got going on?
So Andrew says hello from Ohio. Hi,
Hi.
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. What part of Ohio are you in?
And then
I was born in Ohio. I don't know a lot about it.
then Richard says you guys are a beautiful couple. Thank you,
Oh,
Richard.
Richard, that's very kind of you. Thank you. We appreciate
And
that.
hello from Miami. Oh, that's from Miami.
You're right down the road.
Yeah.
Hi from Miami. Where in Miami? Hello from Miami.
A nice night says, "Oh my God, I'm going to be so cheap when I eventually get married. I guess wedding prices are scary."
Yeah, I mean you could listen. Here's the reality. You can do. I have friends of mine that actually got married in their backyard. Another gay couple, and they had a very small little wedding, and then they like literally they cooked their own food for their guests, and it was equally as special. It was a very
Yeah.
sweet wedding. So
Whatever makes you happy,
Yeah.
that's what it matters.
that's the most important thing. And so we went a little over the top, maybe more than some, and a lot less than others. Though I've seen some weddings that are just like blown me away.
But here's the thing, and I kept telling him this over and over again. This was our day,
Right.
so we're going to do what make us happy, us, because it's our day. He is a people pleaser, so he kept thinking, "Oh my God, what if the people that don't like this? What if someone doesn't like this? What if this and this and this?" I was like, "I don't care. It's
Yeah,
my
I was like
wedding."
concerned about like the food we serve. We got to make sure that we're serving something that everybody likes. We make sure that our cake flavors. And
I'm like,
he kept reminding me, if they don't like the cake,
more for me.
oh well. So I appreciate that about you, that you're a little more.
Because here's the thing again, if you try to please everyone, you won't please anyone.
That is so true.
The only two person that you want to really please that day is the two of you,
Yeah,
us,
absolutely.
because it was our day.
It was.
So
Yeah, and the reality is nobody complained. No,
Mhm.
all of our guests, everything we've heard from everybody was that they had a great time. So,
don't forget to shout out your rose bender friend.
yeah, that's a huge.
Oh,
Well, let
yes.
me thank you, Shannon, for saying that. We have a friend down here. His name is Cecil, and so Cecil, if you ever watch this, I'm not sure he watches YouTube very much, but maybe he will. When we decided to get married and we were talking with him, we were out with some friends at our local watering hole here in Fort Lauderdale, and Cecil is a friend, but he's not like, he's a relatively new friend in our life. He's somebody that we haven't known very long, and we were talking about doing a wedding, and we were like, and he was like, "Hey, what are you going to do for flowers?" It was just like a random question, and we're like, "Oh, I don't know. We haven't really thought about it. We'll probably do some flowers." And then he says to us, "Well, by the way, I happen to be in the flower business, and I'm one of the largest distributors of roses He works with a company that gets all the roses that come from Peru. And he said, "Hey, I really like you guys. I'm excited for your wedding, and I would love to help you out. And you just let me know how many roses you're going to need, and I'll get you a good deal." And we were like, "Great, sounds great." And we're not going to tell you the deal we got, but let me tell you, we ended up getting 600 roses.
600
Six-
roses.
100 roses.
I have never seen that many roses all together in one single place, except for the rose parade.
Exactly. So, and the price that we got them at is just mind-boggling, to say the least. Imagine, go buy a dozen roses and think about how much that costs, and how much you think 600.
Especially on the San Valentine.
Oh yeah. And we
weekend.
got married on Valentine's weekend, which is one of the busiest times for flower vendors around the world. And so yeah, a huge
Thank you.
thank you to Cecil. We have been praising him. Actually, he and his husband are on a cruise right now. They come back. I know, scary, right? And hopefully it's not. Hopefully there's no problems. They're scheduled to return, I believe, tomorrow.
Anyway,
so we're looking forward to when they get back, so that we can take them out to a really nice dinner and really thank them appropriately, because he really went out of his way and he didn't have to, and it was so special. And those roses were magnificent. They were absolutely beautiful. We had 2 color roses, by the way. We had our color scheme for our wedding was copper, like we said, with the copper mugs, white, and lavender. And so we had roses that were white and lavender, and then some beautiful greenery. And the wedding planning company that we use, Carlson's Premier Events, they are also a florist. So we had all of the flowers shipped to them, and they created all of the flower arrangements for us. And they were just absolutely spectacular. Oh, and you'll see in the video that we're going to post, I'm going to post a video tomorrow. It's a little 5.5 minute highlight reel of our wedding that was put together by our videographer. We'll put a little intro to that, but we're going to post that on our YouTube channel, so you guys will get a little highlight. And then we have another more documentary type video that we're going to be putting out, kind of covering all of our. So somebody said Rooster
wait.
likes our PJs.
Wait. So Richard is saying congrats on your wedding.
Thank you, Richard.
And then Esther Garcia. She said, "I'm glad with your wedding. Congratulations." Thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Estelle. Esther. Sorry, not Estelle.
See. And then Rooster, he said, "Are those pajamas?" Yes.
Yes, we are wearing our pajamas. We're having a pajama party, Rooster. I love your name, by the way, Rooster Sideburns. It's cool. Is that what?
Sideburbs.
Sideburbs. What's a sideburb? Curious.
I don't know.
I know what a sideburn is.
And then, what else? Yeah, the flowers, they were beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought a lot of the flowers from the reception here to the house, and I want to have as many as I could. We had them drying, and we still had them in the ¿cómo se llama?
We have a big vase that we dried. We dried a whole bunch
and
of
some
roses.
still in the mugs.
And we had some in the mugs.
Yeah.
But
they were. I mean, it's been 3 weeks, so they were getting a little sad.
Yes.
And then we took them out. We cut them and put them to dry, and I want to keep them all. He was like, "We don't need all the flowers. We can throw some away." And I was like, "No, we can't."
He would not let me throw them away. I was like, well, we have a vase that's big enough. We can keep them. And we now have 3 vases that are glass vases with dried flowers that we will have. We're going to look like little old ladies someday with our dried flowers on. We're like 2 little old queens.
I don't know. I love it.
They're cute.
Something else that we had, it was the ¿cómo se llama? The lavender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another shout out. If you ever find yourself in Savannah, Georgia,
you have to visit this place. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
on Broughton Street, which is the main shopping street in Savannah, one of the main streets. There's a place called Pelindabra Lavender, and it was a little shop that he and I went into. We love lavender. We love the smell of lavender. And we went into the shop, and
we went because we didn't know that place even existed.
No, we had no idea. We were having coffee.
We were checking out another place for the reception.
Yeah, there was a hotel across the street
Yes,
that we
it
were
was
looking at.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah,
Shannon, you might know the name of the place across the street from.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a maritime theme to it. It looks very New Orleans with a balcony.
yeah. So we were going to go there. We parked the car in front of the store, not knowing that the store was
Yeah,
there.
we had no idea.
And then I looked, and because I love the lavender lavender color. So I looked, and this is a cute little place. And I saw it was like a lavender store.
Right.
I was like, let's go inside before going to the
Yeah.
other side of the street. We went inside. The smell immediately was like, oh my God, this smell
Yeah, it's beautiful. I
Yeah,
love
it was,
that. If you like lavender,
lavender
it's
smell
beautiful.
all over the store. And then we started looking around, seeing the little things they have. They have a lot of stuff. They have body lotion, cream, butter. They have soap. They have
Sprays.
mist,
Yeah,
perfume,
anything you can do with
anything.
lavender, they got it.
And then, I just fell in love with the store. And then we started talking to the person at the store, which happened to be
Happened to be Barry,
Barry.
who ultimately became our DJ.
Yeah.
She's also the manager of this store in Savannah. We
And
hit it
she was
off. We were
great,
talking
yeah.
with her, and they had these little kits that you could buy there. They're like little samples, like with a little lavender spray, a little lavender lip balm, and a little lavender soap. And we were thinking of gifts that we could give to our guests that were coming to our wedding. Little things that we could, a keepsake, a memory to take away. And so then she recommended that we come back the next day and speak with Chris and Chris's partner, who are the owners. And Chris is a lady, and her partner happens to be a lady as well. So they're a beautiful lesbian couple in Savannah that run this wonderful store. And we met with them, and they could not have been nicer and couldn't have been more excited about our wedding. And they wanted to help us out and they got us a really good deal in putting together those little packets for us. So we had ordered those, and that's when we found out that Barry was also a DJ. And so it was just one of those.
She actually offered.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where
when you think, okay, everything is coming into place, just perfect.
Yeah, just the way life happens.
Yeah,
Just
like Cecil. I mean, we didn't know Cecil until a few months ago. Like perfect
Right.
timing.
And then he
for-
offers to do our flowers for us at an amazing deal.
Yeah.
And then also afterward, when we got back, as everyone knows, our mantra, happiness is a lifestyle.
And it is.
And it is. And we decided to incorporate that into our wedding. All of our napkins and our placeholders and our
Everything.
the giveaway mug all has
Menus also.
the menus, everything said happiness is a lifestyle
The
on it.
invitations too.
The coffee cups said it, yeah. And so I was online and I was looking for little gifts that we could give in addition to, like, we were going to give everybody a little gift bag. And our gift bag was that little lavender set. We put a bunch of candies, and then we also
Got this big.
yeah, they gave us the sprigs from the lavender store that we used for the place settings. We were going to put it in the bags, but we decided to do that on the place settings.
And in the flower decorations too.
Yes.
It was
there was lavender. And we found this amazing little book online, and we ended up picking it up for everybody. And it's great. It's called The Little Book of Happiness. And then it has a little mantra on there: live, love, and laugh. Or live, laugh, and love, which is right up our alley. And this book is by Allison Davies. And basically, you can turn to any page in this book. Let's do it right now, shall we?
this person is asking is Pelindaba Lavender? Yes.
Yes.
That's the store.
Pelindaba Lavender, yes.
That's the store.
There's also a store up in, I think, Seattle, Washington. Or in the Northwest somewhere, in the Washington State area. There's another store.
Mhm.
But anyway, this little book, as we said, The Little Book of Happiness, is filled with anecdotal happiness
Little
quotes.
quotes. Yeah.
And you can just take this book and at any moment, and we'll just do it right now, we'll just open up. And here's a quote: dance like no one's watching. That's a good one. And George Bernard Shaw, if you can't get rid of the skeleton in your closet, you'd best teach it to dance. I love it.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, little things, it's just a fun little.
It was interesting that the morning of of our wedding,
Mhm.
I just took the book. I just opened the book and a random page, and it was a quote about marriage.
Wow.
Remember, I
Yeah,
read
yeah.
that to you.
That was special that morning.
It was just random. I mean, I opened the book and it was right there. I was
And
like,
while you were talking, I randomly just grabbed another page. Not planned. Here. Say, I love you often. It will not wear out, and it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face and theirs. Remember to say it to yourself. Love yourself, and others will take your lead. That's so true. And thankfully, we say it to each other multiple times every day. We like to send each other little messages throughout the day. We have little codes, TAM, which means Te amo mucho. We use a lot, which is I love you very much in Spanish. Everybody knows 143, I love you. And then we just say it. We verbally say it constantly. So it's nice to reaffirm that. So anyway.
Carrie says that she loves her.
You love your happiness book? I'm glad you do. Yeah, I mean, we really like it a lot. So we're thinking about eventually with our YouTube channel, we may have some merchandise in the future because we've been asked about our T-shirts that we've had and our mantra. So we may do some stuff like that. Yeah, that we put a sticker inside each one of the books here. Let me get it closer. You can see this was also on our coffee mugs. I think you can see that. We kind of went with this look. Anyway, so there's our wedding. Our big gay wedding, as we jokingly called it.
You know something funny that I remember during the ride in the car?
What's
It
that?
was I don't know if you remember. There was a group of people walking before us, and one of them was carrying a rainbow umbrella.
Yes, the
It
big
was so
rainbow.
funny
But
because
they were straight people.
I
It looked like it. Who knows?
maybe I don't know,
not.
but they were like walking in front of us the whole time.
For a while, yeah, I do remember.
Even we were in the park.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah, no, they came over to the park and
Yeah.
they stayed and watched the
And
wedding.
they were like
Yeah, we did have
clapping
we had a
and waving.
lot of people, or not a lot, but there were a handful of people that were off to the side watching our wedding, that were not guests of ours, that were just interested in watching, and that I thought that was cool. Chances are, if the weather had been nicer, there would have been a lot more people. I'm sure the bagpiper would have attracted a lot of people. I'm assuming. We also, just FYI, because we had planned for that knowing that we had it set up in that park, and that park is very popular, and that we were going to have a bagpiper playing in the park. We knew that would attract people, so we had to rent the park from the city of Savannah, and part of that is we also had to hire a off-duty police officer to be there for security. So again, those are additional expenses that we incurred. But the police officer, I think he got off easy that day.
Yeah,
I saw him. He was there when we got off the carriage.
Oh, okay.
He actually tipped his hat to us.
Oh.
I remember him and smiled. So, anyway, thank you, Rooster, for the good luck message. I appreciate it. And what does that say? Start writing. Kari, that's a really good idea. And we've actually talked about that. We might put together our own version of Happiness is a Lifestyle, or our own little book of quotes or book of thoughts or something. Yeah. So good idea, and we might very well do that in the near future. So anyway, we have been on chat now for almost an hour and almost an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
We had a lot to say.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you all watching very much. So let's spend about a few more minutes and answer any last minute questions. If you're watching and you've got anything you want to know, or thoughts or comments, throw it in there right now. Let's do a little round robin since we've just
Yeah.
been chatting.
Yeah, things that I learned: plan ahead, do things that make you happy,
Hmm.
and that you can actually do. Because, I mean, you can have very crazy ideas, but maybe it's not really possible.
True.
So, and yeah, do things that make you happy and that you can do. Keep it simple but elegant.
There you go.
And have someone that help you, and don't don't lose it when something seemed to not be exactly what you plan it to be.
Right.
That's why you need to plan ahead, so you have a backup plan.
That's good.
Hmm.
Favorite part of the day, Shannon? That's a great question. For me, the favorite part of the day was during our dinner reception when Juan Carlos and I got up and we looked out at the room and we were kind of doing our little welcome to everybody and looking around the room and just seeing both of our families and all of our friends together. And there was that moment of realization that there was just pure unconditional love towards he and I from every single person that was in that room. And so for me, that was my favorite moment of the day, is that feeling. Um, so yeah, it was pretty special.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because besides how beautiful was the ceremony and everything during the party, the cocktail hour, and the dinner, everything was beautiful. Like everything looked beautiful. But what it was really special was to have both families and friends showing that unconditional love to all of us. That was the best.
yeah, for sure. And of course, your speech, Shannon, was pretty special. I love that you told everybody about me sharing my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with you. Yeah, no, anyway, yeah, my sister gave a beautiful speech. My father gave a beautiful speech. His sister gave a beautiful speech. My niece singing. There were so many little moments. It's hard to pick one, but for me, the overall fact of everybody coming together was the best. So, what is Kevin N says, UA doing anything the 17th? I don't know what that means. The 17th of, oh, are we doing anything for St. Patrick's Day?
No.
Yeah, we don't have any plans as of right now. We, obviously everybody's aware with, the unpredictability of our current health situation in the world with coronavirus. We are opting to kind of stay a little low right now. We're not ending and, being hermits by any means, but we're not going to be doing a lot of big public stuff right now until we really understand what's happening.
Plus, we're really busy with immigration stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we've just started the process of immigration for Juan Carlos, and we'll talk about that in the future in future videos what that process is like. But we have an attorney that we're working with, and literally we spent all day today working on paperwork and documents that we're going to be filing with the United States government starting next week, so that we can start the whole immigration process for him, uh, and that's exciting.
yeah.
It's a lot.
So yeah, we're busy with that, and
We kind of laughed the other day, actually. We said after the wedding, it's the first time in forever where we really don't have any plans. Because, if you follow us, we do a lot of travel back and forth to Costa Rica, to Disney, to California, to Savannah, to on cruises. And right now, we don't have anything on the horizon except just kind of focusing on being together and the immigration process and focusing on our jobs for a
Which-
little while.
yeah, which brings me back to one of the questions about the honeymoon.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
for the honeymoon, we have a couple ideas. I don't. We want to wait again, depending on whatever is happening in the world with this situation. One of the ideas is a cruise.
Right.
It's a Disney cruise that goes out of London,
It goes out of England.
in England. Yeah, it's not in London, right? It's
No.
somewhere else in England.
Not
and
far
then
from London.
and then it goes to Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Ireland. It's a 10 days.
Yeah, it's a 10-day British Isles
Yeah.
cruise on Disney Cruise Line
So
that we really want to do. But again, we can't book it or plan it until we know that we can travel outside of the United States, which is part of the immigration process that we're going through right
and
now.
then the other option that we have is another cruise in Hawaii, because none of us have been there yet.
Yeah, I've been to 48 of the 50 states. Hawaii and North Dakota are the only two that I have not been to. So we did talk about going to Hawaii because Hawaii is the only no, there. I forgot which cruise line it is. Is it Norwegian? I think it's Norwegian. Anyway, one of the cruise lines has a Hawaiian island cruise, and it's the only cruise that does only U.S. based. So in other words, because Hawaii is part of the United States, we could fly to Hawaii and go on a cruise that only goes to the islands within the United States portion of Hawaii, and not have to worry about quote unquote exiting the United States or leaving the United States. So that's an option that we're looking at perhaps in the fall. But again, that's going to be predicated on what happens over the next few months with coronavirus, and what does that look like? We don't know yet.
David says, guys, congratulations on your wedding. Any advice on how to make a long distance relationship work? Well,
David, that's a great question.
that's actually our case.
Yeah.
The most important thing is communication all the time. Do not hesitate whenever to just, even if it's just as simple as sending a message saying I love you. That means a lot to the other person. And or pick up the phone and make a phone call, or now a video call, which is better.
Yeah, technology is really on your side now. I don't know if our relationship would have worked as great as it did um, prior to the ability to, we now have WhatsApp, which is a great application if you're not familiar with it. If you have an internet connection anywhere in the world, you can communicate, you can call each other, you can video chat with each other, and that's great, especially long distance. And for us, especially not only long distance, but also two different cultures, really take the time to communicate with each other, as he said, but not only communicate with each other what your own desires and wants are, but you need to listen. And you need to listen to what the other person's desires and needs and wants are in order to really connect with each other. And for us, for me, it was exciting to learn about the culture of Costa Rica, to learn about his family and the nuances of what it was like for him growing up. And then I think he was equally as interested in what it was like for me and my life here in the United States. So we really bonded a lot and shared a lot with each other on that in the early stages of our relationship.
Yeah, it's also important to learn and respect other people's points of view and traditions, because and cultural differences, because there were things that, and there are still things that I'm like, why they do this way, or why they do that this way. We do it differently, and doing something in a different way doesn't mean that it's better.
Right.
It just is different. So you have to understand that.
Yeah, well, that's one of our favorite sayings with each other early on was, it's not right or wrong, it's just different.
And sometimes you just have to agree that you disagree.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's in every relationship, there's things that you learn about each other over time, where you're like, we joke about he is very meticulous and detailed and organized and OCD about things. I'm not as meticulous and organized, so he's had to put up with that, and I've had to learn how to adapt to him being meticulous and detailed, because sometimes that drives me crazy, and sometimes it drives him crazy that I'm not. But we've learned to respect that in each other. So all of those little things, you just have to really communicate and understand. That's our best advice. I think beyond that, if you have any other specific questions, feel free, reach out, and hopefully your relationship will be as successful as ours. Well, I can only hope for you.
And then this FHI, so happy for you. Good luck, guys. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And then
Oh, Jacinia.
Yesenia.
Oh, Kevin says we can have cabbage and carrots on St. Patrick's Day.
I don't understand that. But
No, that's a very Irish thing. Cabbage, carrots,
okay.
like an Irish stew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Yesenia says, being in the chat, just listening to you guys, I really love everything about this live chat. Your wedding sounded beautiful, and thank you for sharing your positive
Aw.
attitudes and quotes. We love
Jacinia,
you.
thank you, and our heart goes out to you for watching us, and you've been all along our journey on YouTube with us for many of our live chats, and you've been a big supporter of the channel, and yeah, really, we appreciate you. We appreciate all of you. Darian, by the way, Darian, how did your driving go?
He said it.
Oh, I didn't get that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. But Darian, keep your head up, keep your chin up. You're gonna do well, and continued success to you. He wants to know if we can kiss. Yes, give me a little kiss. There you go. Just for you, Darian. Actually, it's more for him. We give each other kisses all the time. Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you all watching so much. And feel free to tune in and remember, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. If you could give us a like right now, it's really easy. You can do it while you're watching. That would be a big help. All of those things help with our channel.
And help us promoting the channel too.
Yeah. Feel
If you
free.
like it
If you
and
really
you-
like this video, you can share it with your friends, with your family,
And any other of our videos.
or any of our videos. We're really working on. We're excited because our channel keeps growing, and that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been growing a lot faster in the last
The last
3
couple
months
yeah.
than ever before.
Yeah, since December, it's like
So,
up,
yeah.
up. So we really appreciate it. And as always, remember,
Happiness
is a lifestyle, and we are living it. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Oh, wait.
Our rings.
Oh,
they are
yes. Here.
Disney.
Yes, by the way, yes. Let's show them a little closer. Here's our rings. Can you guys see them? Bling, bling, bling.
Let me see if they can
Are they
see.
showing up?
Uh,
So we have a delay. So that's going to be up there anyway. I'm sure that's fine. Yeah, we got our rings. They're part of the Disney Enchanted Collection, which Disney partnered with Zales Jewelers.
and it's called
And the rings are called
the Prince.
They're the Prince ring. They have little crowns on the side. They're white gold, yellow gold, diamonds. And yeah, we really fell in love with them. And a shout out to Danny, our jeweler at
Love you, Danny.
Yeah, we love you. She's been great with us,
Mhm.
and she helped us pick these rings out and get them fitted, and we love them. We absolutely love them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Shannon, we are princes. So anyway, with that being said, we are going to call it a night. We wish you all well. Everybody stay safe. Keep washing those hands. Don't touch your faces. Stay away from sick people. And if you happen to be sick yourself, don't go out in public. There's our public service announcement for the night, just because I feel like we need to do that.
Because he is freaking out. about
I'm
it.
not freaking out.
But yes,
But we're all concerned.
stay
Healthy. Everybody stay healthy. And again, we always appreciate you all watching. So from us to you, bye everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you.